So, I'm gonna talk about Captain Marvel today, and this is gonna be great. So first of all, since the movie literally just came out, today, I guess the most important thing you should know is that spoilers are abounding in this one. However, I will tell you a timestamp. I will stick it in the video above, or here, so you know when I'd start talking about spoilers. Anyways, first of all, Captain Marvel in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, stars Brie Larson as the titular character. And we also have a couple of, a cast consisting of, I talk about this later, but I don't think it's that important, but other than that, it is let's just get straight to the point. It's a wonderfully, it's a visually fantastic film. Its writing seems to be a little bit on the balanced side. It's a perfect, for me, it's a perfect gateway if you really want to start watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It makes for a great starting point in the series, and, basically, I'm gonna leave it at that. Actually, it's a great starting point. It wasn't the best from a writing standpoint. I believe that there have been films that have been written better. However, it is still for me, a summer blockbuster, and it can be alienating to some, no pun intended, who are looking for a direct answer for Infinity War, but I don't think that's the point of this movie. And if you're coming into this movie with expectations of basically, will this solve whatever happened in Infinity War, I don't think that's the right thing to expect from Captain Marvel. I think it's best known as the origin story for one of Marvel's relatively most popular heroes. And I stand to be corrected on that. I am not a big Marvel junkie, so I really don't have the best knowledge. For most of my knowledge comes from the movies. So the movie, and second of all, Brie Larson was fantastic as Captain Marvel. Her performance was, from our initial thoughts, it was gonna be, nobody knew. I mean, people expected, since she was, for me, at least relatively unknown before Captain Marvel, but I think she blew it out of the park. She did wonderfully, she did amazingly, and it is a highlight of the film on how well she actually portrayed the character. And second of all, third of all, I think props would have to go as well to Mr. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. I mean, everybody knows that Nick Fury is in this film, and I believe that it is wonderful. But if you don't, Nick Fury is on the poster, so I don't think that's such a big deal. Anyways, Nick Fury was a highlight of this film for me, and the character, the portrayal of Nick Fury was wonderful. Set pieces, dialogue, some parts are a little bit rough on the edge, but they're mostly on point. What you would expect from Marvel Studios at this point in time. It certainly isn't comparable. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's certainly up there. And, I think it's time. I think I've divulged into everything that I can say without saying any spoilers. So, spoiler warning, skip to this part of the video if you don't want any spoilers. Okay, since you're here now, and you've already watched the movie, seemingly, if there's one thing I should know, this movie was made in light of Infinity War, and I think Captain Marvel as the Deus Ex Machina would work, since it seems like her power came from... I'm directly correlating this to Infinity War, but it seems that her power came from one of the Infinity Stones, and it seems that she is more powerful, or is on the same level as Thor, possibly even greater. So it seems to me that the biggest thing that would actually help the Avengers is someone who can match up to Thanos. However, it is I am quite unsure how she's gonna match up well. So that's that. And of course, the end credit sequences. I think we should get that out of the way first. The end credit sequence with Captain America, with Rhodey, and with I believe I saw Falcon, and who's this, Black Widow. I think that's gonna be, from what it seems like, to be a part, as they've done before with Civil War and I believe Homecoming. Some of the parts were in a part of the movie, a portion of the movie was the end credit scene, but not maybe a portion, maybe the small clip of it was actually part of the movie. But it seems like this is going to be an introductory sequence for Endgame, and Endgame's next month already, so that's surprising. So we don't know what their plan is. There hasn't been anything much we know, but it still stands that Captain Marvel will be in Endgame, and she will be a vital part to fixing whatever happened in Infinity War. Okay, now to the movie itself. I think it's wonderful that in the first... Well, I haven't seen that much in the first time, because there's already been Supergirl, there's already been Catwoman, but from what I can see, and from my perspective, this is going to be a successful, probably the first successful, and I am willing to be wrong on this one. If there has been a successful, please tell me, I haven't been aware, but it seems to me this will be the first successful superheroine film, superheroine film that has been made by a company. And it is going to be, it's because it's been executed well, and it is, the plot itself is relatively simple, for someone who, it is easy to grasp. However, there are parts of the movie that are hard to understand for those who haven't watched. Mostly Kree and Skull decrees. Why are they fighting? Some of it is basically backstory, and a portion of the movie is basically backstory to them, and we are actually getting a reason for why. And I think this is fan service too, but I was pretty happy when I saw Ronan, and I saw the dude from Guardians of the Galaxy 1, the dude that basically wrecked Star-Lord's Walkman. No? Oh yeah. Basically, my memory's still foggy on that one, but, it's nice to see continuity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they're really good at maintaining it. So, I think that the plot was, other than some expository moments here and there, it's basically one of the, as I've said in the beginning of the video, a gateway point, because the story when I saw the end, I saw the you would see this if you've already watched the movie. The Avenger Initiative came from Captain Marvel. As she was on Earth, she was called Avenger. That was her military nickname. She was Carol Avenger Danvers, and the seeing the origin of basically what we've come to know and love is basically a fun little moment in time, and I was pretty happy to see that. Other than that, Uh, I think they could have done a better job with the reasoning why Nick Fury is basically a big boss. If you know, One Eye. I think they could have better, but I think it's still pretty funny how he chose to cover it up. So anything, and being showing that the scrolls. If I'm not mistaken, the Dark World, they were scrolls, and I'm just trying to tie up loose ends, but I don't, it's shown here that the Kree, they're the ones that are evil, and the scrolls are basically refugees. So it basically mishes a theme where which side of history are you on? Are you on the good side or the bad side? That's a theme mostly consistent with the movie. There's our themes also that talk about your ability to do things, to let go. There are themes in this movie that some people may not understand fully. The themes are basically in line with concepts that have been inlaid from previous movies. Because when I watched the movie, I was referring back to, the Avengers, to Thor, to the Dark World, to Ragnarok. I was flipping back and forth to see which one of these, as it is set in the past, is set in 1995. So I was thinking basically, okay, which part of this is basically relevant to the story now? And at the very least, we've got a definitive answer that, hey, this is the power of Captain Marvel, and she is gonna wreck it up. I think that's fitting for Endgame, since actually funny thing, in the theater I was sitting there. The trailer section, there were 3, and the first one, funnily enough, was Endgame. So you're wondering, like, hey, is this? It's funny how they, are putting this in before the Captain Marvel movie to subvert expectations, thinking that, hey, it's gonna be part of the movie somehow. But no, it's just the end credits. Mostly, this is backstory. And when I said before that it's a gateway, I meant like the first Avenger. And if you're gonna watch this in chronological order, I think it's best watched as the second movie, in timeline, since first things first, Captain America was the first Avenger, but the name wasn't there yet, since the name Avenger came from Captain Marvel. So if you're gonna watch this, it's highly relevant to the entire phases, but it's best to watch from first Avenger to Captain Marvel, then to Iron Man, then to the Incredible Hulk. It's gonna be a sequence similar to that, but it's gonna be a fun one, and it's gonna be a fun ride until the next month. Sorry if I'm a little bit going off topic here, but the next month for Endgame, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be wonderful, and I guess that's the thing that I took away from this movie. It's a nice little fill-in just to see. Actually, I think I'll end the spoilers bit here. So, for my conclusion, Captain Marvel is fittingly enough, good enough. It's best as a expository piece on who Captain Marvel is, just like the origin movies. But it's also fitting as seeing we have Endgame next month, Avengers Endgame, and it gives us time to appreciate the character of Captain Marvel that the movie will possibly, similar to Spider-Man in Civil War, not have enough time to expose on, to focus on. So with Captain Marvel, we can appreciate what she's gonna do in Endgame. So if I'm gonna give this movie a rating, it's about an 8. an 8. There are parts that aren't the best, but there are some shining moments that an 8 out of 10 are shining moments that really make this a really cool movie. Anyways, I'll see you all next time.